If you manage to take.
Black Ram 313 back at it again. You know why? It's because this is therapeutic, man. Back again, live with the Grinch, God P, in a historic and epic interview. Today, I'll be interviewing the Grinch God. The title of his book is The Ratchet's Rouge, a brother's analysis on the modern American Jezebel. Salute to the chat. We got Black Onyx, Papa Smurf, Boomer, Maverick, Eel, Wheels in the building. Mr. Lawrence, Marcus Love, Terrell Brown, Hornet. What's happening, brother? Hey, Eel Wheels, good to have you in here, man. You be doing your thing with that wrench, brother. I'm glad you're here. I'm thankful for you being here. You're much needed, brother. Thank you. Prime Main, Jeremy Whitaker. Quite a few guys in here. You know the rules, gentlemen. As you come into the chat, hit that like button. And we have the great Darius M in the building. Salute to you, little bruh. Jeffrey A. And once we get enough likes, we'll start the stream. I have about almost 100 watching, but I need at least 85 on the likes, fellas. At least 85. Likes are free, by the way. Triple Masterpiece, Flash 401, Angry Black Man, Brotherhood of the Wolf, John Moore. What's happening, brother? So once we get them likes up, we'll kick this off. Prophet of Thought series, Brother Xavier, beautiful brother. What's happening? Brother X, what's happening? Edward Bailey, what's happening, brother? Good to see you in here. Saw you earlier. Jason Washington, Kevin Golding, what's happening, brother? Kurt Chris, the God, with the super chat, always in here supporting. Kurt, I appreciate you, brother. I see you everywhere, too. Always good to see you, brother. Much love. Who else we got in here? Boomer Sooner. Man of Tomorrow, M.O.T. What's happening, dear brother? Always good to see M.O.T. in the building. David Bowman, what's up, brother? Hey, David, hope everything is all right with you out there, man. Hope everything is all right with you out there. Heard you got flooded out. Hope you all good, brother. Trojan Magician, what's happening? Got a couple of super chats to read before we start. Nagone 11 is in the building. What up, Nagone? Namaya Buckner says, shout out to everybody. Appreciate that. I don't think I butchered your name. Is Neymar, I think that's how you say it. But peace to you, sweetheart. Appreciate that. Marcus Love saying salute to the Strag Whisperer in the house for sure. We got Kendra D in the building, says breaking bread with my brothers, Black Round 313. And the Hen Sipper, Gorilla, and Strag Killer, the Grinch. Appreciate that, Kendra. Fast Attack Tough. Oh, no, you were on time, brother. We just starting out. Just starting out. So we're going to go ahead on and get into it. I got 96 likes and about 132 watching. I like even numbers. So I'm going to wait till we get to 100. Then I will introduce my guests. 96. Let's get those likes up, family. 140 watching. I can get 3 more likes. We got 97. Cortez Smith in the building. What's happening? Caesar Cannon. Mr. Limber of the Mr. Limber channel. And if you guys are not, you all should be subscribed, of course, to Darius M. Of course, to the Prophet of Thought series. Everybody in here needs to be subscribed to the Prophet of Thought series. And also to the Mr. Limber channel. And of course, the Grinch God himself. You got R Hop saying, what up? What's up, fam? Good to see you in here. Darius said, ready for some wisdom. All right, having said that, what up, James Mitchell and Phoenix? I'd like to introduce my guest, the Grinch God P. What's up, brother? How you doing tonight?
What's going on? You know, it's always a pleasure, Black Ram.
Well, you know, I got to ask you this, brother. You say strag in a specific way, like a Grinch would. For the people, dear brother, can we get that up out your brother?
For the people, you already know what it is, man. It's the strag killer. Swag in this month.
I love it, brother. I love it. So, man, brother, finally got you on here, man. Hey, Grinch, history is important to me. And I remember before you had a channel, before you had a book, you were in these YouTube streets. Before you had a channel, before you had a book, I remember you being a subscriber, coming into the comments section. So showing love, brother. About how long ago was that, you think, man? When maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, man? Because you've been around these YouTube streets for a while now, brother.
Yeah, about 3-4 years.
Yeah.
I first came into this type of content, red pill content, about 3-4 years ago. I was kind of isolated on an island. I went there for a job opportunity, and I got bored real quick. So I ended up finding myself on YouTube. And then, of course, being who I am, I naturally gravitated over to this type of content.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Well, we gonna jump right into it, man. First off, what inspired you to write this book?
Well, I wrote the Ratchet's Rouge because I see a lot of things going on, not just in our community, but the world, really, where we're living in the age of gynocentrism. And I see a lot of guys get the legs, swept out from under them before they even have a chance to really get into stride. So, and a lot of the times it's a course by a strag. So I decided to write this content or write this book simply to help brothers understand what they're dealing with. And me being from Atlanta, me having extensive field work, I understand exactly how they move and what they look like, so that's really what the book is about. It's about instilling a sense of pride in brothers to where they can value themselves over the succubus.
Excellent. So you saw brothers out there, somewhat losing and being taken advantage of. Is this a fair assessment?
Yes. Yes.
And that's the very reason why I started my channel, man. I saw guys just not really recognizing and dealing with female nature and what it is. And I said, you know what? I want guys to start winning out here, man. Shout out to Mike Will for his super chat. He says, bought the book the same day it dropped, just waiting for Ram to drop one as well. Hey, Mike, I'm working on it, man. I got some chapters already. Just got to fill them in. 10 chapters already outlined, but I just got to fill them in, bro. So hopefully we'll have that on the way. GMB in the house, salute to you. And Man of Tomorrow, you guys should be subscribed to Man of Tomorrow as well.
Man of Tomorrow. Happy birthday to Man of Tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Man of Tomorrow. Happy 41st birthday, brother. Welcome to the 41 Club, dear brother. So let's get into this, man. You've coined a very popular term around in these YouTube streets. And of course, you got that unique way of saying it. The strag. Now, how did you come up with this term, strag? How did you come up with it? And can you define strag for us, brother?
Yeah. Well, me and my boys, we back when we was younger, we always used to say that. Now, this was something that I had never heard before. My group, my circle of close friends, were using this, and it just became. It's something that you don't really hear like that. And we used it to describe exactly what I described in the Ratchet's Rouge, which is, an irredeemable woman. That's really what the sum of it is. It's just a woman who's doubled down in her dysfunction to the point of no return.
Wow. Double downing on it, huh? and so is it fair to say at that point of double down and it's really no return, and that's really exactly what she is, and we just have to accept that? And there are a lot of strags in this world.
Oh yeah.
And I would like to say that the term strag and succubus and daggle, I think all of those words are interchangeable. And here's the funny thing. You have people who have lesser brain cells who believe that we're talking about all of one particular group, which is not true. We're talking about behavior, but the fact that you think we're talking about all one in particular shows that the people who say that their minds are really strag filled, are really succubi filled, that you're really not intelligent enough to see that we're calling out a behavior, not
Yeah,
a people, a
yeah,
behavior, not a people.
for sure. And I would go on to add on to that. If you include yourself into a group, into a particular group, who am I to tell you you're not a part of that?
Absolutely. 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 You're definitely a part of that. Yeah, but man, that strag, man, it's so unique, man, and it sounds so good. And when I hear the word strag, in my mind, I see Quita, with the wig on, with the lace front, is red, and tattoos and nose ring and
Oh
makeup
yeah.
and ghetto and popping gum and no decorum, no civility, just no class, 4 or 5 baby daddy eye, and just
Yeah.
all kind of things come in my mind. And we
Oh,
all know her when we see her, don't we?
oh yeah. But there are some where it's kind of funny how the strag works, right? Strag is also a combination of struggling and hag,
Whoa,
right?
whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Struggling and hag. Strag. Elaborate on that a little bit, brother. Struggling and hag. I like
So
that.
struggling hag. So basically, we all understand the mindset of the succubus. We understand the MOs, the motivations, the behavior patterns, and these over an extended period of time always end up with her being a struggling hag. If you look up hag, it's a decrepit woman. It's a woman who is pretty much mean spirited. Almost akin to a witch. When you hear these old tales of lore and you see them write hag on the paper in the text, that's what they're talking about. So if you're a hag and you're alone, obviously you're struggling. I mean, it just makes sense, you know?
True. Struggling hag. I like that, man. I like that a lot. Now, when was your book released, brother?
So my book was released about 2 months ago. It's going on 3 months. It'll be 3 months in the second week of August. Pretty much, it's been doing quite well. Like I've sold 10 times more than what I thought I was, which surprised me. But the responses also surprised me because, as you said, like there are those who think this is about some type of racism, but prejudice and truth, those are two different things. And this book is filled with truth.
Definitely filled with truth, brother. Definitely. Are you gonna do an audio version of this?
Everybody keeps asking me because they want to get the Grinch character in there and all that. And I don't want to give anybody a due date though, because I gave people a due date for the book. I was like, the manosphere was building a place for Black men to express their thoughts and feelings. And I wanted to give back to the manosphere and do that. So, I did the book, but I had no idea the reception would be this great for it. And especially since I've only been on YouTube a couple months.
Yeah, because I like to read, but the book is so well put together, man, and comical in parts. Shout out to SJ3 says, salute Godfather Black Round. Appreciate you, SJ3. I can just see myself in the car on a nice road trip, man, listening to that, man. It would just make a great audio book, man. Great audio book. So when I was reading, like, man, it's almost like because I'm familiar with your voice, I'm familiar with your terms. So when I'm reading it, I got your voice in my head. So I'm like, man, this would be great as an audio book. So yeah, that's probably why everybody asks the question too.
Yeah. If I got a lot of things I'm working on right now. I'm cooking up a lot of different things. I'm actually working on the second book. I got plenty of things in my personal life to fill my time with, in my professional life especially. So if I get the time, I'll put it together for the people, but as of right now, I don't have like a due date on it, but You know, if y'all keep bugging me, I might just do it.
So you hear that, folks? So we got to keep bugging the brother for the second book and for the audio version, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Matter of fact, I'll put it to you like this: once I hit a certain amount of sales on the book, I'll stop a lot of things that I'm doing and set aside some time to make the audio book.
Sounds good, brother. Looking forward to that. Jarrell Boston with the super chat. He says, for the brothers who remember reading the Encyclopedia Britannica, the first internet for me. Black round salute. Hey, Jarrell, that's for real, man. And you probably won't see your encyclopedia except in the library, but I remember that was one of those main things you want to have in your home, and that was the first internet, man. Salute, brother. How far we've come. So, Brother Grinch, in your book, you talk about the Ratchet commandments. So can you state a few of them for us in the audience and what inspired you to write such? What experience did you have? What observation did you have when it comes to the Ratchet commands?
Okay, well, a few of them just off the top of my head. You know, you shall have no other strag before me. You shall not make for yourself a respectable standard, or any likeness of anything that is more dignified than what is within the skin you see, or that is in the mind, or that is in my mind under this weave. That's a section of the of the Ratchet.
So is it fair to say, you know, you're not allowed to have any other choices? You got to deal with this stragdom.
Yes.
You got to stay, you know, in this position. You should have no other strags before me. And I noticed that the strag does not appreciate the idea of you looking past it, and it would be your only option. However, it has no problem looking past you. So it's like this: the creature wants to be happy, but it wants you to be miserable. Have you experienced that, brother?
Yes. Of course. You know, the strag, you know, when it looks past you, you know what I mean? It's basically looking for a bigger meal, because trust and believe, we are all better than the strag. So the thing is, when it comes down to why she gets angry when she sees that we're ignoring her, it's because she gets energy, like how you say succubus. She gets energy off your validation, your attention, your affection, your resources. This is what she lives off of. And then if you have the nerve, right, or the audacity in her mind to ignore her or to pass her up for greater opportunities, oh, well, then you're an enemy of the state. And since you're Black, you're also violating the mindset and the commitment that plenty of matriarchal minions have already made.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an offense to the Black gynocracy.
Yeah, definitely. And you see the hypocrisy that she can talk all day about not having you as an option. But and I noticed that the strag wouldn't even necessarily want you. But when she see you what she would call leveling up when it comes to her, when she see you so-called level up, then that's a problem. Not that she wanted you, but here's the thing. She doesn't necessarily want you, but she doesn't want anyone else to want you either.
Right.
And I just find that comical.
Because it is. I mean, it's a hilarious. But if you know, in the first chapter of the book, you know, we go into you know, what characteristics, what two traits define strag. And one of those traits is absolutely and complete unapologetic selfishness.
Wow, we got to talk about that a little. Unapologetic selfishness. Man, I've had my experience with that myself.
Oh yeah, we all have, you know, growing up in the community or whatever people want to call it nowadays.
And the creature feels entitled to be selfish. And you know, and it's always all about her. It's never about you. It's like you're not even a human being at all. It's nothing about you. And if we go through the whole process, man, from the time that you meet her, from the time that pretty much you know, even if you marry her, from the time you meet her to the time you marry, the time you're in the grave, man, it's 100% about her. I think that the strag is the epitome of selfishness. You want to know what selfishness looks like? Look no further than the Strag. And I think that really is what, if it was one characteristic, like you mentioned, if it was one characteristic that would define the creature, it would be selfishness. And selfishness goes into narcissism and all these other characteristics. I think all those things flow after that.
Right, right. No doubt. And that's why the next trait, the two defining traits that all categories of Strags have and Ratchets, whether it's the educated one, the spiritual one, no matter which one it is, the next one is what continues the cycle of dysfunction, which is the inability to evolve.
Inability to evolve, huh?
Yes, so they remain the same. This is why you can talk to a Strag who works in a corporate office that is commanding a high salary with some science degrees under her belt. She'll talk in the same vernacular, in the same tone, in the same speech as LaQuisha from the 7-Eleven in her pedicure Petty Manny flip flops.
And man, brother, that is so true. It makes you think that, like, wow, what was the education about? And truthfully, it really wasn't about nothing. I mean, because you didn't learn proper etiquette, you didn't learn proper enunciation, you didn't learn proper English. It didn't culture you. It didn't make you more classy. And I've seen this with the master's degree and the PhD. It's like there's really no difference. Okay, you got a degree and some debt behind your name. But other than that, it didn't change anything about your mindset. And this is the system. We're talking about the Western and the American system that, of course, that she supports 100%. It didn't make her a better Westerner. I mean, if we really want to say it, it just made her almost not necessarily more ratchet, but made her ratchetness more visible, because now she's in different areas of life when she was usually only on certain streets and certain neighborhoods and in certain jobs. So basically, They took the ratchetness and made it more mainstream. And one thing I noticed, though, right? Anywhere you see the Strag, and you guys in the chat, and you yourself, Grinch, you can let me know if you agree. 9 times out of 10, anywhere where you see the Strag working at, that workplace becomes a toxic workplace.
Yes. Oh, yes. At least to some extent, because I've worked in corporate before. I've had plenty of opportunities working in all different sectors, all different types of fields, and including the military. And what I've seemed to notice is that, at least to some level, there is a level of dysfunction that is always brought by the Strag. She cannot help it. Because that is who she is. It's not something that she's acting like. It's something that's within her that's telling her, let me move this way. Because at all times she's operating under the eye of the Black gynocracy. So when you see these Ratchets go pursue higher education, through scholarships and the numerous sources that are dedicated to them every year, the thing is, they're only really leveling up in amongst their other members, amongst their cohorts in the Black gynocracy. Because how our community emphasizes education for the Strags, but not for the men, right? And so this is in part of their indoctrination process to the Black gynocracy, just like almost like becoming a baby mama.
Oh, absolutely. It's like that's a rite of passage, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's like, exactly. A rite of passage, exactly.
Yep. In fact, you really ain't doing that until you become the BM. Shout out to Brown Horn in 1975 with the super chat. He says, salute to you, Black Ram 313, and the Grinch guy. Congrats on that book release. I will be getting my copy. Salute to everyone. Thank you, dear brother.
Salute. Absolutely. Appreciate the support.
Now, you talked about different types of ratchetness in your book, and I guess we could say the educated ratchet is one of them. Do you care to explain or give us one other ratchet type that you speak about in your book?
Yes. There's a section that I've received plenty of emails on. People seem to relate to this section highly, especially amongst the more, I guess, dilapidated communities amongst the community, right? And that is the spiritual ratchet or the spiritual Strag. So the spiritual Strag is basically the woman who she has an excuse for everything, a reason for everything, but none of these things ever tie into anything logical. In fact, she will bastardize religious texts to suit her needs. If you've ever heard a woman, quote the Bible, right, or any religious text, and then you might respond with something where, oh well, the Bible also says to honor your husband. Well, that doesn't matter. Like the spiritual strag is somebody who needs, just like how the educated Ratchet uses, institutions and degrees to validate herself. The spiritual strag uses things that she doesn't understand and contorts them to manipulate matriarchal minions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? With all of the types of strags, that's the one I have the most issues with. And I think of all of the succubi, to me, that thing right there, that creature is the most egregious, the most disgusting, and really the hardest to deal with.
Right, because she thinks in her mind she's justified, even though she's dead wrong. But she's justifying her maliciousness and her dysfunction in the Most High's name. Now, I'm not necessarily a religious person. However, I do believe in a higher power. So the fact that you could use something sacred that is universally sacred to justify the pettiness in your heart, the dysfunction in your actions, I mean, it's unforgivable.
Absolutely. And you notice that the strag is always bringing her God down on a very human level and making her God pretty much her servant. And I've always said this, and I like to say this, that to the strag, to the succubus, to the daggle, God is just another man who she wants to serve her. The creature is just that prideful, just that arrogant, just that selfish, just that narcissistic, that the creature really believes that God is just another man to do her will, to do her bidding. And I mean, the psychosis behind that is huge. Their only talk about God is in service to them. God, send me a husband. God, send me a man. God, help me get this car. God, help me get this car. So to them, God is her own personal genie, so to speak.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's why every time something happens, she wants to conjure him up as if she has, as if she has the power. It's really the audacity. Like I've even received comments, right? And I don't know what this person was practicing, what religion or what they subscribed to, but they actually said that they were going to make some type of something. I'm assuming it's a doll. They went by another name and place a hex on me for writing this book. You won't believe the hate mail that came from this book.
Wow. and you notice from the strags and simps alike, they don't go after the D-boy, and I don't want to say the word, but they don't go after the pedo, if you know what I mean.
Right.
They don't go after the people that do the R word. They don't go after none of them. Somebody with an opinion different from theirs, somebody calling them out on their BS. Those are the ones that are the enemy. That's the one who God has to take care of. Somebody who's showing light on their dysfunction. Got K Soul and Black in the building, the OG of the manosphere. What up, K Soul and Black? But they have no problem with the dysfunction that they see in the community. That's not the problem. But you and I, if you like it, you're the problem.
Right, because it serves them. See, the thinking Black man, and this is one of the reasons why I got this insight, is because at one point I was right along a part of the community, right? And then I got the privilege, I got the opportunity to do something with myself. That one thing, that decision of me deciding to do right led to a long stream or a long consecutive line of me choosing to be better. And what I've noticed is it is the thinking Black man that is the most hated. And it's because he is not pushing the status quo of the community. If you are not, the status quo of the community is black men being expendable. It's us doing as we're told, being subservient to women, because I also have another chapter in this book called Plantation Politics and Absolution. And it discusses where these behaviors and these attitudes come from, where this family structure and dysfunction comes from. And once you start pinpointing this and realizing that this started a long time ago. And what we're witnessing now, you know, the black anocracy works hand in hand with the white supremacist power structure. And what we're witnessing every generation is Strag 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. It's still the same things.
Yeah.
But as the world turns and it becomes more gynocentric, the effects of the actions of the Strag are becoming more and more destructive.
Absolutely. Kendra D, thank you for the super chat. She says, the God of the Strag is not God at all. It cannot judge her, cannot punish her. It loves her always, blesses her, and curses her enemies at her whim. Wow. That is exactly right, Kendra. Appreciate that. I couldn't say it no better.
Ratchet's Rouge. Shout out to Kendra. She edited the book.
She edited the book? Yeah, okay. Shout out to you, Kendra, for your editing skills. Yeah, man. So the spiritual Strag is really, to me, the worst embodiment of Stragdom, man. Marcus Love with the super chat. He says, I can hear the writer emerging from Grinch now. Appreciate that, brother. Absolutely. And we had another super chat earlier I didn't get to. Joseph Celestial. Appreciate you, Joseph Celestial, if you're still watching. Appreciate that super chat. But yeah, man. And I think you get so many emails, because it's almost, brother, safe to say that might be the most common type of Ratchet. And that may be because we see, even though she's not necessarily, you know, spiritual in the true sense of the word, the creature is definitely very religious, and pretty much what comes out of the Strag, like Kendra D alluded to, is its own God and its own religion and its own God created in the image of the Strag. So we can say that there's a Strag God, because what she has is, of course, completely contrived by her own mind. But what she has, of course, as you mentioned as well, doesn't fit in any religious system whatsoever. The creature just made the being up on its own, as its own attack dog. So we see something very different coming from the Strag in the spiritual and religious arena. And a lot of them are into magic and are into voodoo and hoodoo and all of these things, and they combine that with whatever version of Christendom that they that's appealing to them. But in the main part, their religion is focused at promoting them and making you subservient, as you also alluded to, brother. Appreciate that.
Right. Matter of fact, if you notice, the Strag always takes the easy route. Everything she does is easy, sleazy, you know. And the reason why the thing is, she will claim a religion, but she's not a spiritual creature, right?
Mm-hmm.
How could I put this? Basically, she's going to take whatever suits her needs. And if you've ever been to any type of worship service from any denomination in our community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are catering to the Strag. And why is that? Because she's afforded the most opportunities, which makes her the purse strings of the community. That's where the money's at, in other words, right? So why would a Strag patronize a place of worship? Because if you listen to the message, it's not so much what is being spoken out of the text anymore. It's who's saying it, how they're saying it, what they're addressing. Mm-hmm. And when you hear these stories about, Mary, going and getting, having a side dude who had some godly deed, right? Mm-hmm. And Joseph who said, I don't care, I'll be there for you anyway. And mm-hmm. and upon the birth of their child, you have 3 more simps just waiting there with gifts in hand, and then even after you sacrifice your own child for some righteous cause, then you're still called the virgin. Mm-hmm. This is a Strag's dream.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a Strag's dream, man. We have 353 watching. We need a few more likes. Likes are free. And if you're just joining us, you're listening to an interview with the author of the Ratchet Rouge, the Grinch God P. Let me say the whole title of your book. The book is called The Ratchet Rouge, a brother's analysis on the modern Black American Jezebel. Links are in the chat to the book. And Grinch, put your get a chance, put your YouTube channel. The brother has a fire YouTube channel, so you want to check him out. You go live almost every day, huh, Grinch?
Yeah, almost every day. You know, I try to, feed the people. You know, when I don't show up, I get a bunch of emails. So I try not to get too many emails. So yeah, man, I just want to help. When I first came here, the whole reason why, like I said before, why I wrote the Ratchet Rouge is because, this Red Pill community, it gives to brothers, and for me to be a consistent repeat customer, so to speak, I decided to put something in to contribute to brothers specifically.
Absolutely.
So this book was me giving back to a community that gives so many brothers, including myself, a place to congregate. And as Thinking Man's Templar would say, to take off the armor, to talk amongst men, amongst comrades.
Yes,
so it's valuable.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Definitely valuable. Definitely. In your book, brother, you talk about, in a section of your book, you have a section called Leaving the Plantation.
Right.
And in that section, you talk about the rise of interracial dating amongst the brothers. And you mentioned that it's on the rise. What do you think is some of the main contributors to this factoid?
I think it is the lack of femininity amongst our community that is the number one contributor to that. It's not that that strags, at least in the physical sense, aren't attractive. There are a few that are, the ones who don't defile themselves with synthetic hair and all types of other nonsense. There are some that do look the part, but overall, the number one reason is the lack of femininity and the fact that Black men, we desire being the ones who have literally built this country, in particular the United States of America, being the ones who built this country off the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors. We are the ones who get the worst of the worst, even from those who are so-called supposed to be our natural counterpart. So that is the number one reason. It's the lack of femininity and the lack of opportunity would be the second. I mean, look at Phil from the Advice show. If you listen to him, he told you what he went through with his first woman, who was a Black woman, who was a strag. Then he moved on. He looked out. He looked for companionship outside what the status quo has given him, has told him this is your only option. And now look at him. He's doing very well. Getting fat, but that means he's eating good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And from what I've observed, and shout out to Wise Nubian, man, you can get you a nice melanated female from Brazil. How about that, brother?
Leaving the plantation doesn't mean, and I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Leaving the plantation doesn't necessarily mean going and dealing with a snow bunny. What this means is dealing with a woman that you choose because you want to choose her, and not because the Black Gynocracy told you these are your only options or this is your only option. And in the age of information where the world is interconnected through social media, the internet, and all different types of wireless connections to where we can be at the same place in the same time, but geographically be in two different locations, The possibilities are endless. And what leaving the plantation is more of leaving the plantation in your mind, emancipating yourself from mental slavery, in the words of Marcus Garvey. That's what I mean when I say leaving the plantation.
Absolutely. And the thing is, the world is huge, man. For me, it's the overall, for me, and I'm not saying this is for the other brothers or anybody like that, but for me, I have an issue with just the Western mindset in and of itself, Western ideals, Western culture, and Western cultural values. I have a problem with that. Like my brother Wise Nubian in the chat, I believe heavily in polygyny. I believe in heavily the man is the head of the household. So that is counter intuitive to the American mindset. So I practice and have adapted a whole different culture. And when you are representing that culture, that's a real problem for the Western female. So
Right.
I'm not so melanated. Again, I can be a bit of a nationalist, but I'm not so melanated that I don't, in my masculinity, see other nationalities and groups of females as attractive. In fact, if I had it my way, I would probably have a rainbow coalition of you know, so I'm an equal opportunity employer, you know, they all can serve, you know. So I'm cool with that. But I'm not so melanated that I can appreciate the femininity of Marisol, Maria, Mei Ling, Su Ling, and even Caitlin, Becky, and Jennifer. And that's the thing with me, brother. I'm a man. I'm a man all day. I'm a man first. So for me, you know, as a masculine man, I'm attracted to that which is feminine. And if it's not feminine, that doesn't have my attraction. So, you know, if you want to deal with your handsome strag, your handsome succubus, because you want to be loyal to the melanin, fine. But I think brothers should not think if you got to have a melanated female, that's melanated females all over the world. I mean, have you guys ever seen an Ethiopian or Eritrean woman? I mean, my goodness. Let's just think of, let's just pause right here. Let's just hold the press right here. Ethiopian and Eritrean women. Have you seen that Wise Nubian? Have you seen that Caesar Cannon and Wolf in an alpha attire? Have you guys seen it? Have you seen that Ill Wills? Ethiopian and Eritrean women? I mean, we're talking about some of the most beautiful women in the world, man. So yeah, keep your melanin. And here's the thing: what people may not know, I think people in this chat will know this. Outside of the United States of America, those of ADOS or those of the diaspora, right? Well, not that wouldn't be ADOS, but because it's not American. But when it comes to the diaspora, when it comes to the Middle Passage and where we landed up, outside of America, the largest collection of melanated folk, I would like to say Israelites, but some people don't believe that, and that's fine, is Brazil. And Brazil is huge. And there are a lot of beautiful dark-skinned women in Brazil. Beautiful. So have you guys ever seen that? Have you seen that AM1? Beautiful black Brazilian women. Have you seen that? Nagone? I know Nagone's seen it. Nagone has seen that. Shout out to Nagone. Aurelius, overseer, have you seen that, brother? I mean,
but that's what people don't understand, though. And look, as a world traveler myself, I've been around the world twice, right? And on my trips and my journeys and my adventures, I've dealt with all different types of women. See, we cannot allow this. We cannot allow a misguided sense of racial pride to define how we align up and how we stand on our masculinity. When conquerors go overseas in days of old and modern day, present day, when we conquer other places, what do you think happens? The conqueror gets the spoils of war.
That's
and
right.
What does that include? That includes the women. This is how you even have certain and nationalities and groups today. So my thing is, look, I understand that you can have pride, but understand this is a tool of the black gynocracy to shame you into limiting your options, because in all truth be told, her options are limited. It is the ignorance. It is the ignorance of the men in our community that continues to perpetuate this. Oh well, if you can't use a comb, don't bring her home. No, you are a man. You are a conqueror. You are a conqueror. You are supposed. It is your duty. It is your birthright to be able to go out, conquer, and claim. And if it serves you, then it's serving its purpose.
Fire in the hole, brother. Preach, man. That is powerful, powerful. Shout out to Thinking Man's Temple out in the building. And that's the thing, brother. You are in your masculinity. And in my mindset, the whole world, the whole rainbow is yours to conquer and explore. Yes. And as masculinity doesn't say, oh, well, you know what? That's too, fair of skin for me. No, it says I'm going to go and get all of this, man. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Grinch. Not saying that other brothers don't, but here's the thing, Grinch. I think you and I, and there are some other brothers in the chat and you listen to this video, I think we have a rulership and king's mentality, and that's a little bit different. I'm not saying that other brothers who don't think like this don't. I'm just saying that we have a mentality of rulership, and in that mentality there's no room to limit myself, being the king and owner and conqueror of all that I survey. Now, even if we can't express that don't stop my heart and my mind from feeling that way. And sorry, I like Caitlin, I like Mei-Ling, I like Marisol, I like Jazz Beer. I mean, you name it. Rainbow Coalition, Colombia, Morocco, Japan, Italy, Brazil, Peru. I mean,
the globe,
brother. That goes for Sudan, that goes for Nigeria, that goes for Ghana, that goes for South Africa.
Oh, great experiences with women from Ghana. Great experience. But limitations are the natural enemy of progress.
Say that one more time, Grinch.
Limitations are the natural enemy of progress.
We need to soak that up for a minute.
We're going too fast for them. Let's slow it down.
Yeah, we're gonna slow this down because when you're dropping fire heat like that, I don't know about the chat room, but I need a little time to catch up with that and really absorb that fact right there. Limitation is the enemy of progress. Do you guys get that? A lot of guys, Grinch, and I plan to do a show exclusively about that. But a lot of guys, Grinch, I think we limit ourselves to this one state that we live in, the one city that we live in, and the one mentality that we are most accustomed to. So I think a lot of times the dissatisfaction that we experience, the frustration that we experience as men is our own limitations. Because my thing is at this age, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm 41, and the older you get, the less patience you have. The less patience you have, and the shorter you realize that life truly is. So for me, I'm not going to be wrestling with the strag, the daggle, and the succubus. Shout out to Righteous Rant. I don't have that kind of energy anymore. So for me, I want to travel the road or the path of least resistance. And if that is with a non-strag, of course, shout out to Golden Child with the super chat. He says, salute, appreciate you, Golden Child. If that's with a non-strag and succubus, I'm definitely going to go that way because I don't have the energy for all of the games, the fighting. And here's the thing about the strag, as you well know, Grinch. I'm going to keep it PG, but you got a real bippy. She got an imaginary bippy, and she want to measure yours against hers. Who in the hell got time for a bippy measuring contest with your woman? It was a lady in the chat.
Nobody does. Not anybody who's about conquest.
Exactly. It was a lady in the chat when I talked about men being the head of household. She pointed to herself as head of household. And I don't know her name. It's not important. But she put that she's the head of household. And that's exactly the mentality that as a man, a thinking man, a man who's about business, a man who has more of an international mindset, you don't have time for that. Even the thought and the appearance of that, you don't have any time. I mean, think about it. Any man, Grinch, who's serious about his business, man. Any man who's serious about his life and himself, man.
Right.
You ain't got time for no bippy measuring contests with no female, man.
Right. That's foolish. It's actually blasphemy, to be honest.
Thank you. So here's the thing. It's a solution to that. Shout out to DTA 144 elect Shalom, brother. So there's a solution for that. The whole world is ours, man. So if you want melanin, yeah, get you a Brazilian woman. If you like a little, little vanilla in the coffee, you go for a Brazilian. I mean, the options are galore. And here's the thing. And shout out to James Bond for his super chat. It's been my experience going to Brazil, Brother Grinch. It's been the experience of other men. And I really feel bad. Shout out to Coach Warren. I really feel bad for men who have not traveled outside the United States and got far away enough from it. To really
it's a whole new world. It's a whole different. Look, I've been to the East. I've been surrounded by a bunch of girls who I couldn't even pronounce their name on Hong Kong on the shore. I've been there. I've been to Dubai. At a water park, splashing water back and forth with a beautiful green-eyed girl. You know what I'm saying? Brown skin, green-eyed. You know what I'm saying? Body out of this world. Like this, these things are possible. And I'm not anybody who's any better than any one of you. I'm another one of you. The thing is, what tears us down is these limitations. Because like I said, limitations are the enemy, the natural enemy of progress. And without progress, there can be no conquest. And without conquest, there can be no kingdom. If you're trying to live your best life, as I hear everybody running around here saying, then why would you ever limit your possibilities?
Never, ever limit your possibilities, man. Negro de Sangu with the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. He writes, self-imposed limitation based on discipline has a strengthening effect. Thinking men impose limitation on themselves all of the time. And of course, we all live in a world of limitations, but we're talking about the limitations of selection and mate preferences. That's the limitations we're talking about. And there really isn't any limitations globally on the types and kinds and whereabouts of the woman that you can choose from. All I'm saying is the FIFA's got this new saying, come out, go where you appreciate it. Well, that should be the saying for us. Here go to think about the strag, Grinch. Here go to think about the strag, Ill Wills. It's really not in her to go and travel and be selected. However, it's in us, and we have the ability, and there are others with the desire for us to relocate and get selected. You can't really name anywhere on earth where the strag can go, the female can go, the suckers can go and get chosen. It's not like she can go to Sweden and England and France and say, oh, they're going to choose me for sure. She doesn't have that option, but you do. Shout out to the Red Pill Chauvinist. As passport travel, it would change your life. Hashtag MOTU. Shout out to Julian for his super chat. He says, shalom to you, Black Ram and the Grinch God. I remember my experiences in Germany, Belgium, Dubai, and Malta. If you guys are looking for snow bunnies, then check out Malta. Beautiful, brother. Beautiful.
Oh, indeed. And just to add on to what you're saying, give you guys a short story. I went to Hong Kong. I was with a friend of mine. He happened to be of darker skin complexion. When I say I seen something out of cartoon, it was like a scene out of a cartoon. These girls came out and they weren't really necessarily worried about me. A couple of them paid me attention. I did my thing, but I'm talking about 5 or more, at least 5. Chased this man. His name was Carter, right? Chased Carter down the street in Hong Kong. This is Hong Kong. We're foreigners. Chased him down the street screaming chocolate man. I'm not even kidding with you. I'm not even playing. And he was, he was so taken aback by because at first they came up, they touched on him, just how they came up on me. And then, but he was kind of weirded out. He didn't just go with the flow. And so he take off down the street, and I'm looking at him literally run from a group of beautiful Chinese women.
Wow.
Like that's a real life story. This happened back in 2011 or 12.
Wow. And here's the thing, Grinch, that's the report from everybody that I've heard that travel. That's the report all around the world. But the funny thing is, because I do like to laugh at the strag, I do like to laugh at the succubus. I find it comical. When have you ever heard a strag, a succubus say, "Oh, girl, going over to France, going on over to Germany, going on over to Brazil"? Now they claim Jamaica is like that. That's what they claim, but it's not so. It's not so. Don't get me wrong. A guy gonna try to smash. But here's the thing: she's looking for marriage, and Jamaican men ain't necessarily trying to beat down your door to marry you. And if they are, and here's the thing: the strag is hypergamous, right? So the strag, although they may be beating down her door to smash in Jamaica, they're not beating down her door to marry her for her so that they can take care of her. They beat down her door for her resources. So the strag can't really go nowhere and say that she's the top of the line. And shout out to Xanatos Clutch in the building. Deacon Den with the super chat says, "One who eats bread alone is not alone, he's content." Appreciate you, Deacon Den. Very wise saying. But yeah, the strag Grinch can't go anywhere and say, "Oh, she's preferred stock." Again, Jamaica, that's because the Jamaican guys want you to take care of them. Sorry, strag. But we are the ones that are desired in other places.
Oh yeah, for sure. And there's no question about it. Anybody who's been out the country understands this is facts. And it doesn't matter where you go. I've been to more countries than I can count. All throughout the Middle East, all throughout Asia, been to Australia, South America, North America, you feel me? Canada. Look, I've been so many places I can't even count. And every place I go, there is a warm reception because what people fail to realize is there are a lot of women out here who look at different groups of men other than us, right? As if they're lacking masculinity. That has been the common consensus. And so when we go somewhere, not only do you have, look, even here in this country, we have the taboo thing going for us, right? Mm-hmm. So the sexual underworld is a real thing. So the thing is, when you go to these other countries and you see this warm reception, don't be like Carter and be freaked out. Accept it, because this is your birthright. Accept you being a masculine Black man. This is the way you're supposed to be treated. This can become a lifestyle if you commit to self-improvement, to progression, to gaining knowledge, to freeing yourself and liberating yourself from the confines of what the Black gynocracy puts out for you, which is inferiority, which is underachievement. If you refuse to accept those things and you continue to press on, trust me, I've seen things I never thought I would see. I experienced things I would never thought I would. And it's simply because I did not accept what the Black gynocracy set out for me. I did not accept being the status quo.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, brother. Shout out to Marlon Brown for his super chat. We also have my brother Ohim and Mara of Enlightenment TV in the building. Appreciate you being here, fam. But yeah, man, so my thing now is that as men, we need to develop an international mindset. And I know I've said this before, I've had some setbacks and everything, but as a group of men, thinking men, of course, it's not going to be all of us. Maybe it can be a few of us, but we need to travel more.
Of course.
We need to get out more. As people know, I went out to Minneapolis because I heard it was the Snow Bunny capital, or at least one of the capitals. Shout out to Xanatos Clutch. Detorion PLA with the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. But I heard it was the capital, man. And I'm still not 100% for the Western female. I know there's better places. But my point is that I left the locale of Chicago, and those women in Minneapolis, Minnesota, were a lot more friendlier. And just that alone, it ain't about hitting nothing. It ain't about dating. Just the fact that they were friendlier alone really helped change my mindset. I mean, I've been to Brazil before, but there are even little spots in America, man, where Stragdom hasn't reached epic portions to where
it's like California.
Yeah. That there are, friendly women in the United States. However, that whole Western mindset, no, man. I want to do it internationally, man. Let's have an international mindset. And in the future, most high willing, man, if I'm living and breathing, I want as many brothers as possible for us to take trips together. And I know if we get 500 million, we get 10%, and that's fine, man. And I want to set something up in the future. This is the order I want to go in, and hopefully you guys will want to do this. And of course, Grinch, you are invited. I hope you can show up. But
sure.
As a group, let's hit up Vegas. After that, let's hit up maybe Thailand. After that, let's maybe hit up Colombia and keep it going. Because I really want to move the conversation, Grinch, away from YouTube, brother, and actually be in a place where we can really not only talk. It ain't even really got to be no conference, man. If a bunch of us in Vegas, we can just go somewhere, sit down, and talk about it, and hang out. Shoot your shot at a few, chickies here and there. Go to Thailand and have a ball. Go to Colombia and have a ball. You know what I mean? For those who can. And if we give guys enough time, Grinch, you can save your money. And let's do this, because we have to move this conversation away just from cyberspace and this platform to really get out there and experience life. Because here's the thing, whether we like it or not, we all we got. And believe it or not, we wouldn't be here if we didn't enjoy brotherhood. Grinch, you wouldn't be here with me. We wouldn't have all these brothers in the chat if we didn't relate to each other and enjoy brotherhood of some sort. So I was trying to wait for other YouTubers to try to kind of kick it off, but I see that ain't really happening. So I see that I may have to be the one to try to push this, but I'm very serious about this. Your thoughts on that, Grinch?
Well, I'll say like this: it sounds like a huge feat, but really all it takes is commitment and camaraderie. I'm telling you right now, there's brothers in the chat room who know people in the places that you just named. Me, myself, I have a good friend, very good friend of mine, lives in Vegas. I can go to Vegas whenever I want, not have to pay. You feel me? I don't know how big his place is now, because he listens to you too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he's Paradise. If you ever see Paradise but it's instead of A's, it's V's. That's him in here. But he has a place in Vegas. Look, he's all about this. Ever since he's been turned on to it, he's been all about this. Me, myself, I've been to Thailand. I've been to Phuket, and seen some. Look, I'll tell you about it offline. I've seen some crazy stuff over there. It gets wild over there. But the possibilities, I've seen flying fish jump out of water so green you can walk on it. Wow. Or it looks like you can walk on it like a field. Like the thing is, these things, there's a lot of brothers who's here who have already freed themselves from the gynocracy, which is why they're here. And they're listening to this message, they're taking in this message. And there'll be places where some brothers have been that I haven't been. Places I've been, some other brothers have been. But as a collective, we can have an experience and show brothers who might not have never known this existed, that these possibilities existed, and give them the mindset of a conqueror, the mindset of you can go out and do whatever you do or whatever you want to do. Work hard, play hard.
Work hard, play hard. And that's the thing. In this community, what do we talk about? And let me give somebody some credit. I don't know if he's still in here, but my brother Nagon 11, and shout out to Coach Warren too. My brother Nagon 11, his thing is, and his saying is a perfect one, and it's what we talk about in this community. Get your mind right, get your body right, get your money right. Beautiful. And let's do this thing. Again, international mindset. See, I think now, Grinch, and the conversation gonna continue. I'm gonna continue talking about the strag and the succubus. We're gonna stay on the strag, and the succubus is gonna stay on the creature's neck. We're gonna stay on it. We're gonna stay on that boy. We're gonna stay riding on that donkey. You feel me? But now we've talked so many years and for so long, it's time for solutions. Right. And the solution, I've heard it in these communities before. I've saw it, but the solution is the passport. Let me put this in the chat. Hashtag passport gang. How about that? How about that?
Passport gang. Look, it's a great experience to experience other cultures, you know, and I think that is the paramount thing when you go to other places. You know, don't just, you know, go there for the women, because as we all know, all women are hypergamous. This is a fact of life. However, the traits, the customs, the norms, they change depending on what region you're in, what country you're in. They change. And it is up to us to look and see what best suits us. What do we most prefer? Especially, like, this is how I look at world travel. World travel for me, the fact that I've been around the world twice, I've been in Sydney, Melbourne, and all types of other places. To me, it was the experience of the culture.
Yes.
There are certain places where, you know, there might be a group of females that don't particularly like you here in the United States, or maybe in another country or wherever. But somewhere out there, you're going to find the climate, the geographical location, the destination where you are a god. Wow. That is just what it is. And for some people, you know, look, we can all win in the United States, but we know the Western mindset that we're dealing with. If you want something different than that, if you want to refine your taste, if you want to go experience something new, then why not travel? Why not see the world?
Exactly. What's holding you back? Because again, shout out to Nagone 11. We talk about getting that money right a lot. And man, listen, we only got one life to live. So if you got to work a little overtime, and it's not just about the females either, fellas. It's about camaraderie. It's about brotherhood. It's about traveling. It's about experience. It's about seeing the world. So even if you got to get a part-time gig, even if you got to work a little overtime, put a little money up, because hopefully, man, and I want you guys to hold my feet to the fire. I need you to hold my feet to the fire, Brother Ohim Amara, Brother Nagone, Red Pill Chauvinist, Brother Grinch. Hold my feet to the fire.
All right.
And I want to try to do something maybe once a year, or at least once every 18 months, a nice little trip, because I want to be serious about this hashtag passport game. You heard it here first. And I want to kick this off. I want to launch that. I want to launch hashtag passport game. We got Ibmore. We got SYBM. We got the Black Order. We have the Negro Manosphere. We have the Sleazeball Gang. We have all of these, right? SYBM, I don't know if I said that. I want to add something new to it. And this is for everybody. Passport Gang. That's what we're talking about.
And to just add on a little bit onto that, right? Before we get back to you know, chopping it up about the Ratchet's Rouge, on the end note, right? When it comes to traveling, you know, there are plenty of ways to do this. You don't have to be wealthy to travel. In fact, there are actual programs. You could enroll in a program, or a job. I'll use this for an example. In South America, a lot of times, or in Europe, there's always pretty much there's always places where, say, if you're a bartender, you can look for jobs in whatever occupation, and let's just say you're a bartender in another country that's seasonal, right? So people might go to a certain South America country seasonal, you know, for vacation. You could get free room and board. If you save your money, you could get free room and board over there. Go over there, get free room and board, stay over there 2-3 months at a time before you come back. And use the money that you saved up at your job here to pay for, you know, food. Sometimes you get food for free, especially if you're like a bartender. Like there's a lot of different ways. There's programs that'll send you overseas for training. They're sending you overseas because the training facilities over there, but you're still overseas. So after you get done with your schooling, the world is yours. Like there's a bunch of places, a bunch of avenues, the military, is one where you could travel. Now, how I've traveled was one through the military and then two on my own dime. So that's how I was able to travel the world twice. And I'm telling you, the possibilities are limitless. I'm not going to sell you a dream to tell you that these women aren't hypergamous as well. But you have to understand, when you're a visitor in another country, nobody's even looking at you like that for the most part. Especially if you go to a developed country, nobody's looking at you like that for the most part. They're looking at you just like how they look at every other foreigner that comes there as a good time. And if you come there and you have your shit together, oh man,
it's on.
Yeah, oh man, you come there with all your stuff together, all your ducks in a row. Oh man, if you're a guy who's been grinding for a while and you've been trying to deal with females here and it's just not working for you, man, take a vacation. Take a vacay and see what you can do. And trust me, when you come back from that first trip overseas, when you look at the stuff around you, man, it's all going to seem real small because it's all about getting rid of these limitations, these boundaries. You feel me? That's what the Black Gynocracy wants you to do, to stay here and be in the same place you was, and stay there forever. Be food for the gynocracy. Be fuel for the white supremacist power structure.
Exactly.
Don't be, but you don't have to. It's a choice, man, and it's all on you. The ball's in your court.
Very well said, brother. Wolf and Alpha Attire with the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. He says tickets aren't that expensive to a lot of places. A lot of decent places to visit have affordable lodging as well. Absolutely. Most probably expensive part a lot of times is the plane ticket, but also, you try to travel off season a little bit. There's deals. Like for instance, when we do Vegas, hopefully the brother's in on it. Kind of want to do Vegas maybe in the fall because if it's too hot, it's kind of hard to enjoy. Don't necessarily want to do it in the wintertime, but hopefully in the fall. And Darius M, man, I hope you can join us in this travel, man. Passport gang. And just real quick, especially content creators. I'm thinking next year because I just want to give brothers time and I want to be able to promote this on content creators' channels, including yourself, Grinch. But content creators and subscribers and moderators, just real quick, I always like to do this. Number one in the chat, if you're serious about doing Vegas, Thailand, and then Colombia. Number one in the chat. And I want to get as many content creators on the same page so we can go somewhere maybe possibly 50 deep, 100 deep. It don't matter.
Hey, shout out to Barry. He say he's down.
Absolutely. TOTW1 with the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Let me say his name right. TOTW41 with the super chat. I appreciate that, dear brother. And TOTW41, let me know if you down, dear brother. And we got a lot of ones. Darius say he down. Made Lightman TV is down. Ear Wills, Kirch, Duke. And this is what we want to do. Passport. David Bowman is down. Absolutely. Passport gang. Nagon 11 is down. Nagon, you'll come to Vegas with us, dear brother. Vegas next year, brother. Love to see Nagon in Vegas, man. Brown Hornet. Black Adam with the super chat. He says, Shazam. Appreciate that, Black Adam. SJ3. Red Pill Shoulders. He says, who's serious when it's time to put that deposit down, point out the line. And, I ain't going to do no big thing. I ain't going to do no collections or nothing like that. When it's time, it's going to be like this, Grinch. We're going to say, hey, we're going to be in Vegas. These dates.
Right.
Let's go.
Just get there. That's the best way to do that. Just get there. It don't need to be no roundup. This ain't a field. You feel me? This is not a field trip. This is some grown man.
Right.
Let's go conquer and come back and get back to the grind. You know what I'm saying?
We do a weekend in Vegas, Grinch, and we just show up. And then what we'll do is say, hey, we meet up in Vegas, and at some point we gonna meet up. Because Vegas is big. It's people crawling everywhere. So we don't necessarily need no venue per se. But if push come to shove, hey, we're going to meet up all at this restaurant or all up at this hotel. We're going to mount up. We're going to talk, introduce ourselves. Maybe we can go somewhere. We can find somewhere to go and kick it amongst each other. And then we're going to explore. We're going to have fun. I'm going to be chasing.
That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. Come brotherhood first. And if nobody gets anything else out of this red pill stuff, man, treat your brothers with respect. Brotherhood first, man. Everybody else is gonna disrespect us, man. What you're supposed to be doing when you're with us, man, with the brothers, is building. Building. And how do you build? You build on respect. You build on expertise. You build with progression. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is about, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nubian, this is just a one-on-one interview today. But Wise Nubian, tomorrow I plan on being on my second channel, talking to some guys about traveling. So Wise Nubian, I will invite you to that panel. So Wise Nubian, email me, and most high willing, tomorrow I'll do that panel on my second channel. The reason why I'm doing the panel tomorrow on my second channel is because I don't want to really censor a whole lot. I kind of want to get candid. I'll make it you know, and a adult theme. And, I'll how you finagle YouTube and make sure that it's not for all audiences. So tomorrow, people, most high willing, tomorrow evening around this time, I plan on being on Black Realm for Vengeance, and I want to do a panel on that. Grinch, if you want to stop by, that's fine. And anybody in the chat who's a content creator, you want to come out, I'm going to be talking about traveling tomorrow because I'm trying to work myself up. Because here's the thing, I'm going to tell y'all something about myself. Therapy. I really don't care about much of shit nowadays. I don't really give a damn about too much at all. I'm chilling, and I don't really get excited or happy about anything. That's just who I am. But I've always wanted to get together with like-minded brothers and do something. I didn't grow up with a big brother, that wasn't a real brother or a little brother. I grew up with all sisters, man. So hanging out with the fellas, of like mind, kicking it in a spot like Vegas, Thailand, Colombia, it's a beautiful thing to me. Beautiful thing to me. Xanatos Clutch with the super chat. It says, if you need a permission slip from the Daggle or your mama, don't bother showing up on your trip. Xanatos, man, that's a lot of guys' issue, man. You got a lot of guys in here that they need a permission slip from their woman, man. You already know, Clutch. And so everybody is invited tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed to my second channel, subscribe. And whoever want to come on tomorrow, man, we're going to chop it up tomorrow about the solution in traveling, man. But yeah, Grinch, man, back to your book, brother. And man, what you said was right on point, man. And not to limit. Could you say that phrase one more time about limitation, brother? That was just so key.
Oh, limitations are the natural enemy of progress. And progress is needed for conquest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I got a couple of more questions for you, Grinch, and then if you got some time, I'll leave a little room for questions from the audience for yourself.
Sounds good.
You kind of touched on this, but I want to just ask you this real quick. What do you you know what? Let me ask you this question first before I get into the last two. It's been a lot of conversation on what a simp is lately, and I know if you've touched on it many times before. What is your personal definition of what a simp is?
Well, I kind of use the traditional definition. Somebody idolizing mediocre, you already know. So the thing is, it's a simp is somebody who puts the female, as you would call it, on a pedestal. And that means above himself, above his needs, above his goals, and inevitably in pursuit of the female, he meets his demise. That is a simp. And there's levels to simping, but all simping is destructive.
Mm-hmm.
Especially to oneself and to one's community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely destructive. And that term female, the first person I heard use that was Brian Solange. So shout out to him. I didn't come up with that phrase, but I've heard it and I'm starting to hear it more and more. And I think female sounds really good because the strag, the daggle, and the succubus, they fail at being what? Female. So fail. I think it's a very appropriate term. The other Ray J in the building. So my other question, brother, and of course you touched on this a little bit. I want to just talk about it a little bit more before we get into some of the questions and answers. The Jezebel spirit. Can you define the Jezebel spirit and talk about why it's so common amongst, you know, us today?
Well, the Jezebel spirit basically encompasses an unruly woman. If you look back at the biblical character, she was very manipulative, very uh, uh, unrational being. She she was placed. She was given too much authority because her husband was a simp, and eventually. And this is my prediction in the book. If you read the introduction to the book, I talk about the story of Jezebel, where the Jezebel becomes basically she uses power through proxy, because in and of herself she is powerless. She uses power through proxy. Who are her proxies? Matriarchal minions, goons of the gynocracy. In other words, simps, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how she exercises her will. That's how she enforces her will. Now, if you read the story, her husband gets killed, and then so do her sons. And then she's left at the palace all by herself, surrounded by eunuchs, which are castrated men. And my prediction and what I'm seeing with this rise in red pill ideology, which is a rise in awareness, right, is that these simps are now seeing the error in their ways, the error in their queen. And just as the biblical tale told us, they threw her out of the window when the conquerors showed up. So her days are numbered. It's not going to be too long before, you know, that if you're paying attention to the world, the white supremacist power structure, the white supremacist ideology is on its way out the door. It's declining.
Yes.
So with that, is everything attached to it is on its way down. So what I'm saying is the black gynocracy and the white supremacist power structure, who are interlocked hand in hand, will topple right behind each other. As soon as white supremacy falls, with it will be the black gynocracy. Because I go into the book. I don't want to give it all away, but I go into the book. But that is what the Jezebel spirit is. The Jezebel spirit was a malicious woman, a malicious, conceited, manipulative woman that eventually met her demise, because all her matriarchal minions and those that she had left, the eunuchs, right, the castrated men, threw her to the dogs, right? They threw her to the conquering armies, you know. And what are we watching right now? The rise of the dragon, right? China, right? So the thing is, that is the inevitable fate. What the black gynocracy is the Jezebel spirit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I don't want to give too much away, but read the book. I'm trying to speak without telling the whole thing.
Yeah, we good right there. We can leave it right at that, brother. We can get it right at that. I think that's a great way to just a quick summation, a summation and a teaser of that. Yeah. We'll leave that right there. I got a question or two more. Salute to Gone Postal. I missed the super chat earlier, but Gone Postal, appreciate the super chat, dear brother. Hope he's still watching. Brother Grinch, the Grinch God P, right?
Right.
There's a lot of talk, and the talk, of course, is rehashed, and people talk about this over and over again. When it comes to the thinking man, now we understand what the strag is, what the succubus is, what the daggle is. We understand that because of the strag, in my opinion, and the daggle and the succubus, they are the reason why the community looks like it does, a war zone.
Yes.
So my question is, and you can elaborate on your answer, as thinking men, and to you guys in the chat, I want to know you guys' opinion as well. What should we do about the community? Should we ignore it, leave it, or should we go and invest in it and save the community? That's for you guys in the chat. Do we walk away from the community, or do we save the community? If so, why? If not, why not? Final question, and the question goes to you, Grinch. Let me know what you think, brother.
Well, when it comes to the community, we can see that as thinking black men, we are enemies of the state. We are persecuted, lied upon, false allegations, uh, have the laws sicked on us, not given the same opportunities, that are afforded the members of the black anarchy. And I will have to be out of my mind to tell anybody to try to salvage this. See, I've read the Road to Zero Wealth report. Shout out to Mark Black, the ADOS advocate, who's promoting knowledge amongst the brothers. Man, it is hope. It's already done. The damage is irreversible. We have no industry in this country. We have the black anarchy who's in cahoots with the white supremacist power structure, destroying children before they ever get the opportunity to blossom into whatever they could be, destroying potential, abortions, over 19 million. We what would we be salvaging? That's the real question. If you were to choose to salvage the black community, what would you be salvaging? The truth is, we are a small part of the bigger diaspora. We are the ones who are the ancestors or the descendants of those who were captured and suffered the horrors of chattel slavery, of antebellum slavery, of Jim Crow. That's who we are. What would we be salvaging? Preserving. Because the salvage would be to mean something is good in it. What I see when I see the black community is I see a community that has sold out its own, that a community that plays gender politics, a community that subscribes to feminism and gynocentrism. This is what I see. And so when I see thinking black men, our best and brightest, get treated as if they're nothing, in contrast to those who destroy the community, who get praised for it. But make no mistake, they are also nothing. Why? Because they're black and male. It is upon us as the thinking black men of the community to do what we need to do for the progression of our own lineages. Believe it or not, we are our own tribe. We do not subscribe to the gynocentric views of the black anarchy. We do not subscribe to the inferiority complex that has infestated our community to the point where we don't even try anymore. That is not us. The death of the Renaissance man. This is a byproduct of the tyranny of the black anarchy. And if we understand how the black anarchy works, it has already internalized the white supremacist mindset. The white supremacist, it works hand in hand with the white supremacist power structure by cutting the legs off of those who could strive to be more before they even get the opportunity. That's why they catch us in adolescence with records and things of that nature. But this is also why the women encourage this type of behavior. They encourage the behavior that could get you caught up in that type of situation.
Absolutely.
So you as a thinking black man, us being critical thinkers, using intellectual standards to come to positive and progressive conclusions, this is not an option. Look, I have to be completely honest with you guys. I'm black pill, and at least that's what they've been calling me lately. I'm black pill. I am
more toward that too.
Yeah, look, I didn't even know what that was. And they said, you sound so black pilled, it's not even funny. I said, well, look, it's because ain't nothing funny.
There you go.
Ain't nothing funny. So we're at the situation where we have BS'd our way into a situation where 20 years from now, by 2053 or sooner, according to the Road to Zero Wealth report, the average black household will be worth zero.
Say that one more time, brother, with the report you stated. Slow it down for us just a little bit. I want to hear that again so it can soak in? Because that's relative, I mean, and pertinent information, man, especially with the question that I asked. Say that one more time, a little slower for us, brother.
All right. According to the Road to Zero Wealth report, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are less than 25 years away. And that's if no major events happen, right? Wars and whatnot. We are less than 25 years away from the average Black American household being worth $0, being worth nil.
Pause right there. Let's just think about that for a minute. Less than 25 years away from the average Black household having a net worth less than zero. Think about that for a minute. Because, and I want to give it back to you in a second, Grinch, but think about the slope. Think about the downward spiral that we're in. Think about that. At a time where our success should be climbing, we should be doing better than past generations. We are actually doing much worse than previous and past generations. Think about that for a minute, fellas. Think about that. And what should we be thinking about doing to get ourselves out of that, to get ourselves out of the situation that the Ratchet, the Succubus, the Daggle, and the Strag has put us in? Charles Merchant with the super chat. He says you didn't have to figure out so-called white oppression, but it took decades to figure out that mammy matriarch is the current oppressor. Thank you, Charles Merchant. Well said, and thank you for that super chat. Think about that for a minute. I don't want to stop your flow, Grinch, but that was so powerful what you said, man. I need us to stop and pause and think about that.
No, yeah, let's soak that in, because that's major.
Wow. We're literally, we can't even say, Grinch, that we're headed backwards, because it's never been that way. I mean, up from Jim Crow, up from slavery, up from the antebellum period, man. I mean, it was been a progression. Now we are de-evolving. Now there's instead of a progression, there's a digression.
Yes, a de-evolution.
Absolutely. We're de-evolving. Think about that. And everybody in the chat, we know that is the succubus with her culture, with her thought culture, with that baby mama culture, is the main culprit of this. Because when you say, hey, you know what, you can do whatever the hell you want to do with no consequence, this is what happens. And I don't want to get too greasy because you know how the tube is. But right. We know that this is what happened. Gave her this independence. You gave the creature all of this power with no responsibility. Now we can't even say we headed backwards. We're headed down into an abyss.
The point of no return.
Absolutely.
That's what this is. This is oblivion, fellas. That's it, because as we all know, and we've all heard this 1,000 times, and it was as true then when it was first said as it is now. It takes money to make money.
Wow.
This is serious. And this is why, look, this is why I put the plantation politics chapter in the book, the Leaving the Plantation book. Because I cannot, of a good conscience, knowing that I would be condemning somebody to go down with the ship when there are other possibilities out there, other options out there, other venues, other avenues to where you can succeed. I'm not going to tell any of my brothers that, if I can't use her comb, I can't bring her home. Look. We are in the phase, and people call me radical, right? But I don't care. We're in the phase, the data proves it out. We are in the phase where we have to be, how would you say it? I don't want to say self-swords, but we are our own tribe now. Color doesn't mean anything. This whole concept of pro-blackness, look, what pro-blackness has turned into is using white supremacy as a crutch for the failures that are coming from within. I'm not denying the existence of white supremacy. But what I'm saying is that there have been covert agents, aka the black gynocracy, that have worked hand in hand with the white supremacist power structure even before the plantation. I could take you back to the Gold Coast on Africa, present day Ghana, and run you down how colorism and all these little petty things that these females talk about as if they're important, when these are the creations of the female. If look, read the book, man. Read this book. Read Ratchet, Rouge. Read Daughters of the Trade. Read these books. They will let you know exactly how we got into this situation. And now that we're in this situation and the dysfunction is so deep, you can't go with anywhere without seeing it, smelling it.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the point where we need to do what we need to do for our legacies, for our children, for our future. Point blank, period.
And that was well said, brother. Fire in the hole, man. Well said. And I also like to add that our population numbers are dwindling as well. It's you know what? Sounds like, and it seems like, if you really look at the evidence, man, and you look around, and maybe there's something we need to maybe look more into as a collective. It seems like, man, we on our way out, and the ship is sinking. And I don't know how, where, but it may be time to jump ship completely, because we on our way down. And
but let me inject some hope in here, right?
Go ahead, brother.
And not no false hope, right? Some realistic things. When you look at the calamity that is the Black American community, you see individuals, you see a whole group of people that's being disattached from their roots, which is why they're always blowing in the wind. They're always doing what they're told. Why? Because it's a culture of slavery. It's plantation politics. So when you look at this situation and you look at where we was ripped from, we don't have any connection to that, right? We don't know the tongues of our fathers. We don't even know the location exactly where they came from, most of us. So as American descendants of slaves, what are we to do? I know the thing that we are not to do, which is remain loyal to a culture that enforces the bidding of the white supremacist power structure, that instills in our children the white supremacist ideology of Black is inferior. In fact, the title of Black is a social construct within itself. It's imaginary. The Genome Project proved that race cannot be detected in blood, in DNA. That shit is a social construct. It is a caste system. So with that being said, what are you really being loyal to? A figure of your imagination? A common misconception? You, as a thinking Black man, it is your responsibility to raise your children in a fashion that's going to give them the best opportunity. Not what everybody else tells you to do, not what the gynocracy tells you to do. And the hope in all this is that, look, like how Black Ram talks about travel, we are not limited in our options. Let's stop pretending like we're living in Jim Crow. Let's actually explore our options without using the white supremacist power structure as an excuse. Does it exist? Yes, it does. But does it have to mean that you will never amount to shit? Do you have to fulfill the prophecy of their ideology, which is that you are inferior through your actions, through your behavior, through your achievements, through your accomplishments? You do not. And that's where we're at. We're at the point where you have to choose. Are you going to sit back with the gynocracy who wants you to make excuses so they can excuse their own dysfunction? Or are you going to rise to the occasion? Are you going to accept the challenge? Are you going to say, forget the limitations and become the you that you want to be?
Wow, brother. That was fire, man. Well said. I mean, so much to say, man. So much truth packed into that, man. It's man, that was excellent, man. I mean, well put, brother. My hat's off to you.
No doubt,
Seattle,
man.
Seattle boys with the super chat. He says brothers will also need to get some gold and silver because the dollar itself won't be around forever. It loses value each time they print it. And also shout out another time or second time, third time, fourth time to Marcus Love for his super chat. Reginald Fields for his super chat. 10-2 Lions Whelp also for his super chat. Thank you, dear brothers. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Brown Horder said he's speechless. I am too, man. That was well said, brother. I mean, that's something to really absorb and think about, man. That's just gems. And I'm glad that we having this discussion, and I'm glad we are attempting to move the discussion past the discussion and actually start getting out there and doing things. And who knows what we'll come up with next? Because I think the talent, the brilliance, the intelligence, I think we got all that we need to have right here with our community on the tube. I think we got all that we need to have, man. And hopefully, I don't want to think too far ahead because 2020 is still a ways away. But uh, when we start traveling together, man, we're gonna get brothers' phones numbers and email address and start networking, man. I mean, what is it all about? I mean, you got people on here who are actual job creators. You got guys over here with certain skills. So this should also be a networking event. It should be about fun. It should be about playing. Yeah, we're gonna do that. But it's also some networking. You get guys that you may not even realize that's right in your same city on this trip. That's another networking situation. So this right here is real power, and we'll find a way, in the future to have larger conversations more discreetly, so we don't have to censor ourselves so much as well. But this can be a powerful thing, man. Uh, hashtag passport gang once again. Um, but very well said, Grinch, man. Very well said. I mean, I can't even add on to that. Dollar Washa with the super chat. He says, Black Order, scorching earth, turning scrags and matrical minions to ashes. Shout out Dollar Washa.
Shout out to the Black Order, man. We are not alone, man. Hashtag we all we got.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to the Black Order for sure. Man, brother, you got a little time left for maybe some answer some questions of any guys in the chat. Got any specific about the book, about the
time for the brothers.
All right. Dear brothers, if you have any questions, mainly for the Grinch, we're going to go into a little overtime here. If you got questions for the Grinch, go on and throw them in the chat, and we'll talk about it. James once said, "Do you guys have a group chat on WhatsApp?" That's for you, Grinch. I know. Don't the Black Order have something like a group chat?
Yeah, we have Discord. We have 4 Discord servers. It's mine, which is Kraken HQ. You got Soul Shaders. You got the Black Order, which is Valdez Joint, the Angry Man. We got Kendra D's server, and she's the one who edited the Ratchet's Rouge. And I think that's all the servers that we got right now. So yeah, we have an off YouTube community. If you want to be a part of that, go to any one of our live streams. We have the links posted in the chat. They come up every 15 minutes or so. So at least mine comes up every 15 minutes. So just peek in, and you can click the link. Use the same name that you use on YouTube, so we know who you are. And we can get cooking, man. We cook a lot behind the scenes, man. That's where the real building goes down.
Absolutely. Shout out to Brian Tim. He says, salute Ram and Grinch. Powerful and much needed talk. Somebody asked me, probably tuning in late, Grinch. Somebody asked, are you writing a second book?
Yes, I am writing a second book. I'm not giving out too many details on this one because I didn't know I was going to make so many waves on the first one. I didn't know it would be this big of a, I had no idea. So I'm keeping kind of the details of the second one to myself until it gets closer to the release date. I know it's going to take me longer to write this one than it did to take the Ratchet Rouge, and I got a lot of things going on. But yes, you can be expecting a second book from me, but go check out the first one while you're at it.
Cool. Richard Victor Dixon says, Do you think brothers should focus on creating families on the continent since the black community is over here in America?
I think you should go. I think what we need to adapt is we need to get a. I know a lot of people think that you look. I'll tell you the truth. Power is amassed in groups, but all groups are not the same. Look, we're all sitting in here as thinking black men. We come from different states, different parts of the country. Some of us are in different countries, but we can all relate to this message. You see, the power is in the thought process, in liberating yourself from the matriarchal mindset. So I would suggest that you go wherever you think is best, wherever you choose. Do your research, do your due diligence, and you choose. It doesn't matter if it's Sweden. It doesn't matter if it's anywhere in Europe or wherever you choose to make your kingdom, to build your house, and to raise your children. You know, wherever you choose to contribute to the world, it's on you. Don't let anybody, not even me, not nobody, tell you what you need to do, because ultimately you will look out better for you than anyone else. And the black community is a great example of that.
Well said. We got a question from Deacon Dan. He says, do you believe that the prior generation of our fathers failed the generation of the 60s, 70s, and 80s generations?
I mean, I think the wording of that question is misguided. The fathers. My thing is, black people, black men in particular, have proven themselves time and time again to be the best fathers out there, to be the best stewards of children, so to speak, right? To set the example. We have a track record, whether we're talking about combat, innovation, academia, et cetera, of excellence. Where we have been let down at is the place where we have been betrayed by our female counterpart. That is ultimately what has happened. And to include some of the men, because make no mistake, there are matriarchal minions out here. I don't look at it as a problem of generation. I look at it as a problem of ideology that's been passed down. And you know who passes down culture? Women.
Great point. Great point. Somebody also asked, what's the best place that you've traveled to?
The best? Oh, man. I've had some great adventures, man. A place that sticks out to me, I mean, it's not far, but I lived there. So it was kind of an all immersive experience. Mexico was it was so much fun for me, especially since I was able to make a whole lot of money down there. So Mexico, I really enjoyed Hong Kong, the Maldives, Dubai was cool to see the city of gold. That was cool. It's hard to pinpoint. It's gonna be Phuket was cool too. It just depends on what you're talking about. Different places are good for different things, but my favorite place in the world is California. Regardless of how many places I've traveled, my favorite place in the world is California, specifically San Diego. So, I mean, that's just me. But to each his own. You know, go out, search, seek what you like for yourself, you know, and get that refined palate. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see if we got any more questions. Any more questions? Give them a minute to see if they're going to come up with something. Black Hawk Down Somali War. I don't know any people that has that in their heart, brother. We definitely don't have that here. Black Hawk Down Somali War. You welcome here. So we definitely don't feel that way here, brother. So let us say that this channel is for all thinking men. It just happened to be geared more toward the so-called black man because that's what I am. So it attracts like. However, all men are welcome to this channel.
Yeah, look, we're not on no look, we're dealing with reality, and that's part of being a red pill man. If you can't acknowledge reality, then you aren't red pill. That's point blank, period.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I know you talked about it earlier, but maybe Brown Hornet tuned in a little late. He wants to know what inspired you to write the book. If you could just talk about that in brief.
All right, well, what inspired me to write the book is I've been a part of spaces like this, Black Ram to be included, Thinking Man's Templar, of course, the Black Order, which is Angry Man, Kendra D, Black Onyx. And, I decided to give back to brothers because I've heard the time and time again the stories of them being, swindled by the strag. So this is my contribution to the brothers who give so much back to the people.
Absolutely. Ill Wills want to know, he says, it seems like you and Angry Man have a real strong bond. How do you brothers become so tight in the game?
Me and him have lived a lot of, we have a similar upbringing, put it like that. We've lived a lot of in the same cities, coming up. We both have a similar background where we both started out in the streets. So, and we happen to make, have very similar views on a lot of the observations that we make, So when I came on the YouTube, that's why I gravitated to his content. I was a big supporter, I still am, of this entire sector, whether that be on Patreon or whether that be in donations in the chat. So eventually, when it came down to it, he decided to put together a unit of like-minded individuals, and I fit the bill. The rest is history.
Absolutely. And for those of you who don't know, Grinch has been around for quite a while. Before he had a channel, before he had a book, in the comment sections that subscribers support the Manosphere. So he is one of ours. So get that book. He's not some newcomer or nothing like that. He's one of ours. He's been here for a while. Check him out.
Sure.
We get a couple of more questions before we sign out of here. Let me see. Metal Enlightenment TV asked the question, are there any places that you would not recommend brothers to go?
Bahrain.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of biased on that one, but if I had a place to net go again, it would be Bahrain by far. The people, it's hot than a motherfucker. You feel me? The people are angry at Americans. so I would recommend to steer clear of American Alley. But other than that, no. Go out and look. And my thing is, when it comes to that, look, a brother might go somewhere and he might not like his experience there. This is part of being a thinking black man. He might not like how I don't like Bahrain. He might go out there and have the best time of his life. So my thing is, you can't ever ask anybody about these things. You have to experience it for yourself, and whatever your taste and whatever your likings is, whatever your preference is, do what suits. Look, I am not me or no other brother or anybody else. Any other female is a replacement for the black inocracy. Make your own decisions. Be a thinking black man. Go out there and adventure, charge hard, go places, some places you might not like, some places you might love, some places you might actually live there. You feel me? Go be a hard charger. Go out there and see it for yourself, bro.
Wow. Well, to go along with that, Berserker asks, what are some of the best places to go within North America, if you have an answer for that? Besides California, we know you love Cali.
Yeah. I have, I love Cali, man. But it's like I said, to each his own. But me personally, the cities that I like here a lot are, I like San Diego, I like San Francisco, I like Houston, I like Orlando, and to me, that's what it is. I mean, I like my time in Chicago too, but like, as I've been told by numerous people who live there, like, I didn't really see real Chicago. Like, I seen the space in Chicago where everybody was just looking extra good. You know what I'm saying? Like I was, yeah, like I went downtown. It was summertime. Like it was, and look, I seen some winners, but you
Yeah,
know,
downtown Chicago. Yeah, it's that business for sure. Downtown
yeah,
Chicago, it'll compete with the best cities out there though. But,
yeah,
but
like shit.
yeah.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. That look, if I would have spent more time there, who knows? But you know, there's a lot of people who tell me like, you know, all the females are filled up with like bullet wounds and stuff like that. So I look, but I didn't see none of that while I was there. I seen excellence.
Yeah,
So
you do downtown. The Strags and the Ratchets and the Succubus really don't go because they can't compete. So you do see the best that Chicago has to offer when you go downtown. I was at a day party downtown Chicago, I think it was last year, and 7, 8s, and 9s, and you know
yeah,
all
gorgeous.
throughout that boy.
Yeah,
But they'll be the most stuck up chicks you ever meet in your life.
yeah. I was in uniform, so you know, it was kind of like, oh, where
Oh
you know,
yeah,
they,
that do it. Yeah, that'll do
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
it. Yeah, that uniform will do it, Grinch. The uniform will do it. Especially downtown, they like a man in uniform for sure. But
yeah,
yeah, man, it is Chi-Town in the summertime is pretty nice though. Nobody asked me, but so far probably the best city I've been into as far as the ladies, as far as looks, is Miami is off the chain, man. Miami just goodness gracious. I mean,
hey, you know, I'm in Florida right now.
are you in Florida?
Yeah,
But you live in California though, right?
well, no, I lived in California, right? I move around all the time. So I was in Cali, you know what I'm saying? I visited a whole bunch, I was in a bunch of places for Cali, but then I went to Cali for a while, then I went to Hawaii for a while, and now I'm out here.
Damn.
So it's, you know, my brother keep bugging me about that Miami trip, and I just been, man, I'm telling you, I've been so busy. I've been so busy that I couldn't even do this audio book for the people. So
Wow.
yeah, but I'm gonna make my way down there. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. I already got a little place to stay and everything down there. Trust me. We networking, man. You got to hit me on the back end, bro. You got to hit me on.
What city you in Florida, brother?
Oh, St. Augustine, man. St. Augustine, okay. Right there on the beach, man. Right there on the coast.
Wow. Hey, I really admire that, man. That you have lived in different places, man, and that gives you a whole different outlook on life and things that you talk about when you've ventured out, man. I've been a Chicago guy my whole life, but I've always wanted to travel like that. You know, sometimes you get stuck in places, man, but that's very admirable, man, that you moved around like that. That's a beautiful thing. What's your next spot if you're leaving from there?
Oh man, you already know what the next spot is, man. I'm going back to Cali, man. I'm going back to Cali. Look, I came out here for opportunity, right?
Cali,
yeah, I'm going back to Cali, man. The opportunity was right out here, though. I'm gonna take advantage of this. I'm gonna level up, and then I'm gonna go back with big dollars. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do look. That's how you do, man. You strategically planning out how I'm in my 20s, strategically planning out how I'm gonna be in my 40s. That's what we on right now.
Wait a minute, Grinch, you're in your 20s?
Yeah.
Damn. Hey, shout out to you as a young man making moves. As a young man in your 20s, writing books and in a manosphere like this and doing your thing and moving around. Man, salute, fam. I didn't know you were that young. I mean, you talk like a man in his mid-30s with all the wisdom and experience you got. So when I see a young brother doing it like that, man, salute to you, fam. I mean, you got guys like Darius who's still in his 20s and guys like you in the 20s, man. And I'm sure a lot of brothers that are my age and in their mid-30s would say this. If I knew now, back then in my 20s, damn it.
Right. Yeah. I already know. But that's the whole reason I wrote the book, because that's not the first time I've heard a red pill content creator say that. And it's because now that y'all got the game, y'all giving it back. And so I kind of grew up red pill. By like, look, I grew up in a group home. I had no choice, really. But to see female nature firsthand, I lived next door to a whorehouse, to be honest. I grew up next door to a whorehouse, so in Atlanta. So you see nothing but, you know, pimps and strags all day. And that will, you know what I'm saying? Like, brothers have always looked at me and been on some, you know, even when I got in trouble, even when I got into a bunch of nonsense, you know, they always took the time out. You know, it was always brothers who took the time out to be like, hey, man, this is how it is. And I paid attention. I was never too, how would you say, arrogant. I was never too arrogant to listen. And that has always been a strength of mine. So the things that I've learned to this point, because I just turned 29 this year.
Oh wow,
right?
Young bro.
So, yeah. So the thing is, now that I'm, peeping game, I still got a lot more to learn. I know this, but the things that I do know and I know for sure, I put it in that book for the people.
Man, beautiful, beautiful. Well, brother, we've been here about 2 hours chopping up game, man. And again, if you just turning in, but I know most of you guys have been here, you listening to the Grinch God P discussing his book, The Ratchet's Rouge. Book is available on Amazon. The complete name and title of the book is The Ratchet's Rouge, a brother's analysis on the modern Black American Jezebel. Again, you can pick that up on Amazon. Check his book out. He is one of ours. Red Pill Information. Check out his book. Any closing remarks, brother, before we get up out of here, Grinch?
I'd like to thank you first and foremost, man, having me on the panel. When I first, started listening to your content, the cognac thoughts and all that, like, I never thought I'd be, sitting up here chopping it up with you, because I never planned on being a content creator, but, it is the responsibility, and the privilege of thinking Black men to give back to other thinking Black men. Absolutely. So, hey, I appreciate it. Hey, shout out to everybody who came through in the chat. Go pick up The Ratchet's Rouge. It's available on Amazon, in paperback and Kindle. I appreciate the support. And as always, man, like I close all my videos on my channel, man, we all we got.
My man. And brother, I appreciate you coming on. It was a pleasure to have you. I've actually, saw you over the years, first starting in the comment section and then to your own channel, now your book. So as a young brother, so it makes me feel great, man, to see how you've come up, brother. And I'm thankful to have you here as a peer in the manosphere, brother, and look to work with you in the future. Hopefully we can catch that trip, man. Hopefully you can promote that on your channel and we make this thing as big as possible. And
hey, for sure. And what month you talking about, though? What month?
Well, I'm thinking 2020. I think we should either do spring or fall, simply because the wintertime people be busy with holiday stuff. I know guys coming from different backgrounds and beliefs and all that, and usually after the holidays, kind of rough. The January and February, plus it's so cold. You don't want to be traveling somewhere where the wings got to be de-iced. So I'm thinking I'll probably do a survey soon, but I'm thinking either the spring or the fall. The reason why I want to stay away from the summer, because I mean, if it's 115 degrees in July, man, that's kind of rough. Plus, it's more expensive to travel during the summertime, too. I know brothers come from different economic backgrounds, so I want to take that into consideration, too. And I want to give brothers a little time to plan. So I want to say tentatively spring or fall of 2020. So
okay. That sounds good for me, because I'm kind of landlocked right now until like this time next year. So yeah. Hey, that works for me.
Absolutely. That way to give the brothers more time to think about it and plan what they want to do. So definitely, like a March, April, May, and after that, maybe like a September, October, November type of thing, for sure.
Nah, for real, for sure, man. Hey, that's some real stuff, man. Y'all check that out and y'all pay attention. When we drop, look, I'll definitely be keeping up with the updates and dropping the updates on my channel. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, let's get it, man. Let's go out here and live life and do it big, for real.
Absolutely. Passport game. And to everybody, to everybody in the chat, I'd like to thank everybody who subscribed. I'd like to thank everybody who commented. I'd like to thank everybody who's watching. I'd like to thank everybody who's donated. And I also like to thank my very powerful and great moderators, Ill Wills, doing a wonderful job. Appreciate you, Ill Wills. I always got to give Ill Wills a special shout out, man, because we making it happen, putting the Amazon book in the chat and all of that other stuff. So I appreciate you, Ill Wills.
Thank you, Ill Wills.
Absolutely. Shout out to Brown Hornet for moderating, SJ3, and my brother Charles Merchants in the building as well, moderating. Appreciate you guys, all the content creators that came out. And having said that, brother, again, thanks for coming on, brother Grinch God, the Grinch God P. Let me say the name all the way. And man, brother, we out. Stay tuned or stand by for a second, Grinch. We're gonna debrief. And to everybody in the chat, everybody that's watching, peace. Stay well, brothers. I'm out.